Hello, and welcome to this episode of Watch Out for Fireballs. I have two quick notes for you. First of all, this episode is brought to you by our patrons. Patrons like Nutley, who, despite the name, is not a cartoon dog. Andy B. Bren Perez. Front Mission 3, The Person, Not the Game, and Tyler Bias. Thank you, everyone. You can join them if you'd like by going to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv, supporting your boys, and getting some bonus episodes. If you're hearing this, you can give us $5 to get the full episode. This is the trailer episode. Other little bit, I record this in a state of extreme brain fog. I have no idea if that is COVID related. You get to hear me apologize for it during dispatch during the next episode, but I was just, to me, sounded like an extremely handsome himbo who didn't have a thought in his head during this episode. I don't know what was going on, lack of sleep, some kind of electrochemistry issue. But just a quick note, if you're like, boy, I usually think Gary's a real dum-dum, but now he sounds like a super dum-dum and even more handsome than usual. That is why. Thank you. My name is Gary Butterfield.
My name is Cole Ross.
And you're listening to Watch Out for Fireballs. It is a Games Club podcast.
And this week we're playing Carrion, which is a Metroidvania game developed and published by Phobia Game Studio and published by Devolver Digital for the PC and consoles in 2020.
Indeed. And this is our premium episode for the month. That means everybody gets the generalities, but patrons at the $5 level or higher get the whole episode. Do you want to hear us talk about anonymous mazes for maybe an hour?
Maybe just about something like that. Yeah. Talk about powers.
yeah. We will get to the powers in there, some of which are kind of cool. Mm-hmm. Me being cynical, but yeah, that is it is the premium episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In this game, you play as an unnamed monster, kind of a Shoggoth, bit of a protean being made of red tentacles and mouths, and you've been captured and you just want to go home. And by home, we mean, in fact, all of Earth. So you try to escape this underground facility.
You're almost actionably the Carnage symbiote. You're Carnage.
Yeah.
In this, it's a Carnage game.
Oh.
You have like the big teeth, just like a Venom or a Carnage has, except you're red. You have a lot of the Carnage powers. You're Carnage.
I don't know if I've ever seen the Carnage symbiote off of a body.
Yeah. That's a deep cut. The idea behind this is billed as a reverse horror game. So you are the monster. You terrorize humans by brutally murdering them and by being a spooky slime monster. Mm-hmm. How successful that is up to debate. I think we'll get into that. It's I don't like this game very much. Mm-hmm. I really want to.
Do you want to know how much I want to like this game, Gary?
How much do you want to like this game, Cole?
I've played it 3 times.
Good Lord. It's something that happens in Watch Out for Fireballs is something I'll say a lot is that I want to be doing a cool thing.
Yeah.
In a video game. And that doesn't mean necessarily Saints Row over the top, Jerry Bruckheimer sequences or anything like that. But I don't want to be go get the data from the files and then upload the server. I want to be doing a cool thing. The concept of my Shadowrun should be cool. The concept behind this is literally as cool as it gets. Mm-hmm. And then nothing you actually do as an avatar is that fun.
Yeah.
It's real weird. It absolutely knocks it out of the park on the I want to be doing cool things. It's just the things to do the cool things aren't cool.
Yeah.
It's this weird remove, and it's not very fun.
It's one of those things. I saw you describe this on Twitter as just an incredibly mid game. And that makes sense if I'm understanding the way kids use the word mid. But like it describe. Okay, so here's something. I think this is a game that really sells itself well in GIFs and in video, and also in just the elevator pitch. However, each of the individual things that it is asking you to do, kind of the moment to moment and the framework, is so compromised that it throws so many caveats onto the individual things that it ends up not feeling like what you imagine when you see this or hear that elevator pitch.
Yes. Like, it looks incredibly like it would be fun and cool. Mm-hmm. And there, something I've been like working on because I've been trying to put my thoughts together. I beat this a long time ago. I had guests coming up in town and wanted to play Metal Gear and stuff. So I beat this a while back. I've been trying to refresh my memory and try to understand what I might change about it or what gameplay things would make it closer to that fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of things that would make it a better video game.
Yeah.
Having like a map system is the biggest one. We'll talk about all this stuff more in detail. I don't know that would make that fantasy any better, though. Yeah. I don't know that fantasy is a game.
That's the thing.
Like, it's really cool. It's such a cool idea. It's something everybody wants to do. I don't know that that's a concept that carries a game.
This year, we had one game that I think made a similar promise and another game that if we could have got it to run would have delivered on it a little bit better, I think.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking of The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, which feels like a pretty similar idea to a certain degree. And to my mind is similarly compromised, by the fact that it had to become an open world game and have combat against helicopters.
Nonstop combat goal.
Nonstop. So far. Or if we could have gotten it to run, I think that, per my memory, Alien versus Predator, which is a game that this team cites as a primary inspiration, does the you are a monster dismantling a bunch of scared people stuff really well.
Yeah. It can be touched on. Like, it can be part of a game, but even in Alien versus Predator, that's one part of the package. And it also is the rest of it is the semiotics of like a shooter. Like, you crawl through vents and ambush people and such, but most of that game you spend in a shooter, like in a really known mode that has nothing to do with being the monster.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a real fucking weird one. I wish I liked it more.
Same.
Let's talk about the W's and then we'll catalog some L's.
Yes.
Movement in this game is nuts looking.
Mm-hmm.
You move in any direction you like. There's no gravity. You have these many tentacles that will just kind of take care of it. And the game's animation engine makes this look incredible. You roil to places, like we've seen a mosey, and we've seen a sprint. It's time to see a royal. It's great. It looks amazing.
Yeah, this is this is proc gen done very well. This is not the kind of thing that you could hand animate. All of this is done programmatically. Just figuring out what the next tentacle you want to throw out is and how thick it should be based on the distance away it is. This is again one of those major reasons why this looks why this sells so well in a GIF. And as the monster, your body size and mass changes a lot over the game. At any of the given size, this looks cool.
Yeah. Yep. You have a business tentacle, like a main tentacle that you can reach out and do things with. This to me is a little bit of a flavor fail. It ties into other flavor fail things, but the main thing you're going to do with this is hit switches and pull levers.
Yep.
Cool monster shit. To solve water lowering puzzles. But you can also, in the more fun moments, the combat, you can grab a person, whip them around, kill them. You can grab some aspects of the environment. Like if you imagine a video game where you're Carnage, but mostly you throw screen doors at people. This game is that. And so it is a fun little tool for combat and just a very perfunctory one for what this game does with puzzles.
Yeah. I wish it was easier to do things intentionally with this.
Yeah. It's always hard to tell like what's intentional though with that, because it does feel very chaotic. Like I know you've got a note about that later. But it's you could draw the bullseye around the arrow with that if you want to, and say like, no, you don't have full control. You're a protean mass of blood slime.
Yeah. But also, like, imagine the cool scenarios you could get if it was like a Hotline Miami kind of deal, where like, okay, like I make my first move, I burst through and I throw the vent cover at this guy, and then rush over and chomp this guy, and then throw his body at the third guy who runs in. That seems like cool stuff to do.
That'd be incredible. The fact that there's almost no precision to the game in general is a big problem in terms of it being a game. Like, there are weird ways in which this game doesn't work, and you can either sort them into flavor or mechanic fail. You know, and I think it's both. Like, I think that the narrative around this game is that it's a flavor triumph, and just a mechanical failure. I don't think so. I think there's some flavor issues as well.
If you grab a person, you kill them by ragdolling them around and stuff, and your tentacle will kind of naturally draw it toward your body, where one of your many mouths will chow down on them. There's a very satisfying crunch sound as it is done, and you increase your health. You refill your health by adding to your biomass. Unarmored humans can be chomped, whereas armored humans cannot. This is an affordance for the possession mechanic. Yes.
Yeah. And just before that shows up, just challenge.
Yeah.
You can't gain health from an armored human. There's an interesting thing in this. You can save humans for later to snack on them later. And the map, you eventually can get an upgrade that will tell you where unchomped humans are. The map, despite saving and loading and everything, keeps track of all the corpses.
Yeah.
This was cited as a major challenge from the developers. It saves everything.
Yeah.
So you can leave people there, leave them for later, which is great. There are 3 thresholds to your biomass. And this influences your health, but also your abilities as you grow and shrink. This is kind of a size-based class system. The developers refer to it as. So it's basically you have like little, medium, and large, and that determines how big you are, how much health you have, and then what abilities you have. There are these red pools where you can shed your biomass in order to get a smaller moveset to proceed. And these generally map onto Streets of Rage. Small, stealthy, and fast. Big, combat-y. Mike Hagar is the big version, and then the Guy at the small version.
Is that a name of the character from Streets of Rage?
That's the character from Final Fight.
Okay.
Which I have on the brain because I was watching a Let's Play of it, and how funny it is that you could just be sitting on a stoop, and then the mayor comes and suplexes you in one move. Which is a thing that regularly happens in that video game.
If you can think of a better way to get him to trim his head so it's not blocking the sidewalk, I would like to hear it.
Just there's a clown party in downtown, and the mayor comes in shirtless to chain suplex him into submission. It's like, I'm just getting up, and I've had a really long, weird weekend, so I'm socially blasted.
Okay.
So apologies to you and to listeners for weird energy. Also, still waking up, and we had some smoke come in, so my voice is still froggy. That is why I sound like a deep fake AI of myself, and I'm all kind of discombobulated. So yeah, all together, that explains it.
Yeah. Accounts for it anyway. Doesn't excuse it, but okay.
Yeah. There's no excuse. I'm a fraud. I'm not a fraud. I just woke up. I'm still trying to figure out, and I don't remember very much about Carrion because it's boring and bad. I'm dreading the last half of this where you have to describe those mazes.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's the notes kind of gloss over some of the mazy parts and focus more on the novelties that you get to in these different areas. The segmenting the powers by biomass is neat. I dig that. However, some of the chore energy of managing size, eventually you just kind of get to some puzzles or situations where you've got to like make a little circuit every time you do something to shed or regain some of your biomass. Or the dreaded sequence where, I need to burst through this wooden scaffolding that they have. Let me go and scrounge for some legs. I'm looking for just a little bit of unsmoked weed in the carpet.
Yeah. The stems and seeds of the space station, the underground facility you're in. This lends itself to my major problem with the game, which is level design. I want to camp out on that a little bit later, but this whole idea of they need to be able to make you grow and shrink at will to solve these puzzles leads to this artificial feeling of the levels. There will just be a conspicuous red pool next to the puzzle.
Yeah.
And this alien would be fucked if there wasn't a red pool right there. Like you wouldn't be able to move on. It lends to the sense of video gamey kind of bubble bobble maze levels.
Mm-hmm.
Bubble bobble in that, you can only win because of the level design.
Yeah.
It's not set up as a defensive space. And then also just in terms of it feeling like a shitty maze, like it not feeling like spaces, rooms with purpose.
Yeah. Even though the individual areas are kind of themed, like there's the botany lab and there's greenery and stuff like that.
It just feels like a paintbrush, though.
Yes,
to me, it's like it's a decor palette in a Sims game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You unlock abilities. These abilities that are governed by your size by finding these pods, little biopods around in the various labs in the facility. All of these unlock some new attacks or navigational abilities. Meant to get you into new areas. I think they do a pretty good job of making these, at least somewhat situationally useful in combat. In addition to being keys, like stealth is great.
Yeah. It kind of depends. Like they're I think about half of them are good and half are bad.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them that are just armor, or spikes. They're just combat abilities, and then there are a lot of them that are just keys. Like I can turn into tube effects worms, and it's never fun just to get a key.
Yeah,
in a Metroidvania, this is a mixed success to me. Some of these skills that you use require energy. This is acquired by finding breaker boxes and zapping yourself to charge up with monster electricity. But as a monster, you're super fragile. A weird thing that kind of changes the fantasy of this and is not how the game looks in GIF or in trailer is that it's a stealth game.
Yep.
Like the story of this awesome slimy alien symbiote oftentimes ends with, "Oh, we shot it." Oh, you remember that outbreak at the underground lab? Oh, we shot it. It was all right.
Oh yeah.
How many times did you shoot it? 3 times. It was actually that big a deal. Like,
yeah, no, just one burst. It was basically just reflex. Didn't do it intentionally. Scientists are pissed. I killed their sample, but
I don't know. I guess that was a close one. You are so fragile in this, and the degree to which this works, I think, again, is kind of mixed. There is a checkpoint system in this. It's not like a Hotline Miami where you just restart that same screen. You could do a version of this that is like Hotline Miami, where you're iterating on the same challenge room, like that. But there's this timeout because you end up, spawning a few screens back, having to navigate down there each time. Sometimes not, but most of the time, yes. And that ends up killing that rhythm of rapid iteration on top of the lack of precision and the feeling of chaos when you get into combat, which again, kind of intentional, but it makes it not scratch that Hotline Miami. I'm continuously iterating on and improving my strategy feeling.
Yeah. With as fragile as you are, the difficulty in doing things intentionally. And in case anybody says like, "Oh yeah, it's a skill thing" or whatever, played this 3 times.
Yes. It's also not that hard. Like I have the skills to beat it. It's just not like you just get through it eventually. Like it doesn't feel, I did not feel skilled for doing things in this video game.
Right. But like, I can make what I think is going to be a stealthy encounter, but I roil in the wrong direction, or my business tentacle, doesn't, I lost track of the cursor because I was trying to reach through my body to get it where this guy was. Nope. He turned around, deactivated his shield, and he put me on blast with his assault rifle, carving me apart like a Christmas turkey.
That was it.
Yep. You're done.
That was it for you.
Yeah.
Yep. If you manage to escape, it's not a stealth game where you're like, you want to run away. You can, but if you haven't left some legs sitting around, like, or you can make your way back to a save point there to kind of reset. But it's tedious. It's not like you doing this back to back with Metal Gear is since they're both kind of stealth games, which is strange, feels odd because I hate to hand it to them, but Metal Gear handles the getting caught consequence a lot better than this.
Yeah.
Running away and regrouping feels better in that game, and it feels pretty bad in this one.
Yeah, because in this one you've got to kill to proceed, and also, or kill to heal at the very least. You're going to have to expose yourself, and also the most dangerous enemies cannot be healed off of. You've got to go eat this. You've got to go eat the soft scientist, and those dry up after a while.
Yep.
Yeah.
The enemies get a wide variety of kind of countermeasures, and they escalate as things go on. It's like what this game has for storytelling. You know, they increasingly deploy things. The most common enemy has just this assault rifle and a shock shield, so you can approach them from the front. This ends up being, you know, you'd think this sounds like an interesting combat encounter, but the way that the characters act in this is not like, it doesn't feel immersive to me. There's not a whole lot of AI to them. You can do some very simple stealth stuff, like I'm in a vent over here, I make a noise, and if they're not alerted, they'll walk over there. But there's no real AI to speak of, or, you know, ways to fool them.
Yeah.
They are too dumb. One of the ways in which this metaphor fails for me, the flavor fails, is that if you take a game that has a mechanic about inspiring fear, like, for example, like the Arkham games, the enemies will make more mistakes. You know, as they're scared, they will act, you know. So in this one, you can kind of cackle like you're a monster, like, oh, I just ate your friend, and you're on alert there, but it doesn't feel like fear. It's not like a modeled thing. Yeah, they always feel like little video game enemies that are on alert mode. You know,
and stealth without a certain kind of threshold of complexity to the behavior, or at least kind of, you know, predictable routines, ends up falling just a little bit short, and it ends up being like, okay, so what kind of game is this? Because the way the way that the enemies are behaving makes this feel like it's a Twitch action game. However, my health bar, which also determines my size and abilities, makes this feel like it is a stealth game. That, in addition to this, is kind of an ultimate Monday morning quarterback thing, but I want to bounce this off of you, which is, how weird is it that every enemy can turn as a free action?
Yeah.
Turn and aim. So like, I'm just crawling up behind somebody. They've got their little stealth shield out, or stun shield out. Just immediately they can turn around and then get like pit locked. There's no like invincibility period. They're just on top of me, in addition to automatically aiming and firing. It's a little bit like the shotgun guys in Katana Zero.
Yeah, they can't miss. Yeah. You know, the people are turrets as well. You know, there are turrets where that makes sense for you to fight them, but they're and they you know, and that's something you could also do with fear if you wanted to implement a fear mechanic where they would, you know, maybe they're crack shots initially, but if you spend some time terrorizing them, they can't snap, you know, aim on you, can't no scope you. Yeah, it fucking sucks. A lot of unfair deaths. My strategy for this game didn't end up feeling like particularly strategic or stealthy. I would rush them and get lucky. And that's basically
all right. So what's your plan? I have a knife.
Yeah, I have a knife and I have unlimited lives and I have some patience. Let's go. You know, and just eventually I just wouldn't get killed. And when I would try to engage with the strategic side of this, I would, like, you know, make distraction noises. I would try to, you can like grab a door and use it as a shield for some weapons, things like that. It wasn't precise enough to do that, and the AI wasn't smart enough to like trick.
Yeah,
you know, so nothing was rising to the tactics I was trying to use.
Yeah.
And you know, a verb set, a character kind of set of strategic options is only as good as the game that's around it. Like I can have all of these cool things I can do. It doesn't matter though if the levels and enemies around me aren't designed to take advantage of it or interface with it in any way.
That's the other half of it. Like, I can have all the cool guns in the world, but if every enemy just runs directly at me,
yeah, it's a bummer. It's also you know, there's a visual confusion to fights in this. You know, your character is amorphous, you know, on purpose. It is hard to spot him in a melee. You know, if there are multiple enemies and your character, like, you don't really occupy an individual space,
right? Which
is a cool thing, but also makes, you know, then if a power loader comes in and shoots you at that point, you need that information. Knowing exactly where you are is instrumental to performing strategy.
Yep. Yeah. Very much so. Sense of body, sense of place.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the structure of this, which gets into the level design as well. There's enough Metroidvania here to call it one, but the level structure and the navigation kind of undercut that, and it's missing one of the most important aspects of the Metroidvania, which is the map.
I don't think that there should be 2D games without maps. that are Metroidvanias. It doesn't work. The developers of this cited in their level design, Dark Souls, wanting to not have a map and then have like shortcuts and such, which this game does not have a map, and it does have shortcuts. It is so difficult, at least for, and maybe I'm just speaking for me, but like the way that the level of zoom on this and the kind of palette the levels are painted with, if you showed me a screenshot of this, the only thing I'd be looking for is color palette.
Yeah.
I cannot recognize any of the terrain, any of the topography of these levels. And I can't imagine how anyone would.
Yeah.
You cannot, there are no landmarks. Like it is, you can't really know a space. And the game is like actually very linear as long as you just kind of go where it tells you to go.
Yeah.
But it being a Metroidvania, I want to go off the beaten path and get treasures. If you do that, fuck you. Like you will not be able to get back to the road. I spent time lost in this game.
Yeah.
Not a little bit of time. I got lost a lot, and it wasn't a fun lost.
No, it's one of my least favorite feelings in the entire world. The going in circles looking for like the one thing that I didn't interact with. It makes me feel like I'm going crazy. And you end up kind of running into that here because you have a vague memory. Like, okay, I can break through wooden things. Well, okay, there was like one place maybe back toward the beginning, but it might be in the middle. Well, I guess I'll just go do the level again.
And you can go back and you'd find I would see a wooden thing. I would get the ability to bash down wood. I'd come back to it thinking I would find a cool power up there, or it's a cool secret, and it would be a shortcut. For what? Like, unless you're going back, you don't do a lot of backtracking in this game. And it's not rewarded very well.
No.
When you do it. So the best way to play this game is to just keep your eyes on the prize and beat it. Which is kind of poison to a Metroidvania. Like a Metroidvania, a lot of the joy is in hunting down secrets and poking at the edge of the map. I found no joy in doing that in this game.
No, the only rewards that you get, there are mild upgrades that you can find.
Fire resistance.
Yeah, fire resistance. Well, you get upgrades like, I think you can get like a third tentacle. I think you get the second one over the course of the game itself. But that just lets you hold more things at once. It doesn't change your interaction really that much at all.
Yeah, they're not very impressive. And they're a real pain to get to. I also think that the maze, a Metroid game, those will look like anonymous hallways and mazes. Metroid Fusion. It's on a ship or something, or a planetary thing like that. There are little hallways in the background that suggest purpose, or little rooms in the background, and that's a Game Boy Advance game. Here, I found myself getting very frustrated by how these spaces aren't designed for anyone or anything. Like, not everything has to be an immersive sim, but there are areas in this where I'm like, if I were not a monster, I would not be able to open this door. That's weird. There's no dungeon ecology to this. And it may be, I want that stuff not just because I like it, because it makes a good video game to me. It would have helped a lot with the navigation. If I could have been like, oh, I'm in the cafeteria, that's across from the medical wing. That would have made sense to me. I could memorize that kind of thing. Not this magical blood portal goes to the uranium mines. This one goes to the research laboratory, and there is absolutely no difference in that other than kind of like a color swath. There aren't dedicated rooms. There's no ecology at all.
That goes hand in hand with another problem, which is the way that the world is kind of slotted together with the overworld and then the individual kind of like biomes, like those those tunnels that you go might as well be infinitely long. This facility doesn't actually fit together, so there's very little like relation between any of them, which is pretty frustrating when I think of Metroidvania. Like everything takes space. There's kind of a, like an immutability to it. It's a puzzle. And like you get those moments where like, oh, I stumble ass backwards out of this, through this one vent in the nuclear plant, and I go to the toxic waste dump. Oh, it makes sense that those would be connected. with having everything be linked by this overworld, it ends up just being area. And it does not actually feel like you're making a lot of meaningful progress.
Yeah. It makes exploration feel bad.
Yeah.
Horrible thing for a Metroidvania to do.
Yeah.
You got here in the notes the Goonies 2 problem. And that's 100% it, where there's kind of like an A and a B side.
Mm-hmm.
That is difficult to conceptualize.
Yes.
And there's, another reason, like a map, if they left out a map, it had to be an intentional decision. They talk about it being cited from Dark Souls, but somebody who playtested this had to have been like, this would be better with a map.
Yeah.
So they said no. And the only reason I can think of is verisimilitude. The monster wouldn't have a map.
Mm-hmm.
One, I don't care, but two, the levels also wouldn't have just gigantic pits of water between doorways you'd go through.
Yeah.
The monster also wouldn't know how to, raise and lower water levels for water level puzzles. Like, I don't know, activate levers and stuff. Like, it's clearly intelligent. If it's trying to get this DNA upgrade so it can, get out, which is ultimately what happens, I guess, spoiler, but it's not even a twist.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. If that's what it's trying to do, it's obviously intelligent enough to use a map.
Right.
There's no reason for it. And it is a huge impact. It colors the whole game.
You will never hear me say, I wish people would take something from this game. But here I'm going to go. They should have learned from Echo the Dolphin. A dolphin doesn't know how to use a map.
Nope.
Give a dolphin a map. They're just
this dolphin does.
Well, this dolphin does, because if you hold the sonar ping, you get like a little you get a little, I mean, it's kind of zoomed in, it's not as zoomed out as a total Metroidvania map, but like you get a sense of like the room structure, the tunnel structure that you're in. It's like a little recon mode kind of thing. Your monster has echolocation. You could have put this in if you wanted it.
Yeah. And you could always justify something like that. It's a magical sci-fi game. Mm-hmm. And they talk about how they wanted to go for verisimilitude in a lot of the things in this game. I don't really see it.
Yeah.
Not just because like, oh, it's a game about pulp things. It can't be real. Even within the logic of the game, I don't really see too much of it.
Yeah.
So there's a kind of basic rhythm to these levels. You go in, you make your way to these various hives, which already have your red stuff in it, and they activate a little bit of this main portal to the to exit of the level. Like it's broken into thirds, and 1/3 of it will glow. Mm-hmm. The fact that each level has the same goal, I find to be a bummer. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the alternative would be if you wanted to keep this conceit and keep it side scrolling, but just going and checking off the little buttons, essentially, like you're doing button and lever puzzles.
Yeah, it's as
a monster.
Yeah. Each of these hives represents a star or a skate pickup or whatever. You got to get to finish the level. The fact that you enter through this little tunnel that basically forms the back, like it's the back entrance, and then the exit, which is actually the entrance that people would use, is in a different place. Ends up being pretty confusing. At least it was for me, trying to figure out, okay, so how do I get into this place? Oh, I got in that one way, but here's the other way. Well, they're pretty far apart on the frontier. That's kind of strange. This is a way for them to deposit you when you finish a level closer to the entrance of the next one. But heaven forbid you accidentally go in the wrong direction when you leave that one, because there's no real guarantee that, at least for me, the first 2 times I played it, this time I finally internalized it, but there's no guarantee that you're going to intuitively kind of dead reckon your way back to it.
No, you can see what they're going for.
Yeah,
but I don't think it quite works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like we said, not a lot of backtracking. You do get those little upgrades, but mostly you are just looking for the blocks that will go away when you use your most recently acquired ability.
Yeah. Yep. And optional upgrades, as you mentioned, that are, in a Super Metroid where you go and you find a missile container, it's kind of a bummer. Mm-hmm. They're basically that, not too exciting. It looks great. Mm-hmm. It's this 16-bit kind of pixel style, but modeling liquid physics and symbiote shit. Mm-hmm. So it could not be done in 16-bit. It's that great like little illusion that will come when you do something cooler with the aesthetics than it could originally do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, doing awesome stuff with lighting shaders, things like that. And when you're done with an area, the fact that it is painted with blood and gore is pretty cool. Like, you do wreck this place up pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. Which there's a joy to, like a delicious evil too. The soundtrack's super appropriate. The idea is that it's evoking these kind of like 80s and 90s horror tracks. Chris Velasco is the person who did the game music on this, who's done God of War games and such, like a big game composer. And he got his inspiration from his niece and nephew's slime toys.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Saw those kids playing with it. It was like, hey, let me record that. The sound
some slime.
Yeah. And Velasco did the sound engineering on this too. And creature noises, like, kind of complex, but also sounds really fun to make.
The creature noises are great in this. I think the soundtrack was really good for a better game. The soundtrack undercutting my silly, like, oh, we shot the monster, it died, into like being subtractive to me. Right. Like, it's a soundtrack for the game I want this to be, but not the soundtrack for the game that is. Yeah. If that makes sense.
This might be a negative for some people, but I don't know, this month in particular, the fact that there's basically no story to be found here is great to me. That's not just me being cranky, but like, oh yeah, you're a monster. You don't care why they captured you or what have you. You're just trying to get out. There's a little bit of text, mostly on like warning signs, like notice boards that are up there. But that is like hints and a little bit of world building kind of stuff.
Almost a UI thing too. Like, it's almost takes the place of a pause menu.
And there are also like little flashback scenes that we'll talk about in the body of this. But like, after Bug Snacks and Metal Gear Solid 5, having a non-talky game that still, has atmosphere and you can tell that there is something going on, but it is not interruptive, is a nice change of pace.
Yeah, I didn't want more story from this. I think that is one of the few things that feels true to the premise.
Yes.
Like from the Thing, from the perspective of the Thing, is not a complex tale. It's all pretty direct. He's a single issue voter.
Yeah.
The Thing. What's funny about this is that going into it, I thought there would be a big twist. This is the first time I played this. I didn't play it when it came out. I meant to. But the reason why I thought that is because there was in just my gaming recommendations on YouTube, gaming videos, there was Carrion ending explained and a game theorist thing that was, what is the monster in Carrion? Wow. And I was like, oh, there's going to be cool answers to those questions. And then I played the game and I was like, ending explained? Come the fuck on. You walk out of the building.
Yeah. Everybody's fucked.
Yeah, there's no twist. It's like the oldest sci-fi twist in the world.
Yeah. And like that's to be clear, we're not hitting the game for that. We're hitting YouTube culture.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, the bad guys win.
Yeah.
What if the symbiote? What if the xenomorph escaped? That's it. Yep. They explained 15 minutes. Explained. What are you doing?
That almost sounds like a prank.
And then what is the monster is very funny. If you go on the wiki, there's theories about it, and they're very funny. There are three major theories, and the first two are just like, this is easily disproven or something like that. And it's just whether it's an alien or a mutated tubifex worm alien.
Yeah,
who knows? It doesn't matter though. It could not matter less.
Yeah, I don't there's very little that I need to understand about the ontology of a creature like this. I don't necessarily care where it comes from, whether it's just something we dug up or whether it landed on a meteor or something like that. The cool stuff is based on what it does.
Yeah. Well, and knowing, figuring out its exact origins is contrary to the spirit of the game.
Yeah.
This is people on a wiki's fault. It's not the game's fault. The game very wisely keeps its mouth shut around that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a huge flavor win that it dispenses with all that shit. If you were trying to figure out the origins of this thing and catalog it, you'd be as bad as the corporation. And we know they're the bad guy because we're a little alien monster.
Yeah, they're trying to stop us.
It's not that complicated.
We're just a plucky little guy.
Yeah.
They took parts of our bodies and put it into jars. We have to go get them back. Come on.
We have to go get them back. That belongs to me. It's mine. It's my DNA.
Oh, give it back.
Yeah.
This is a two-person game mostly. The composer Velasco, kind of a honorary third member on this for the sound engineer, made by Phobia Game Studio, Polish studio founded by the two people who left Transhuman Design. It's a studio that designed that made like retro action games. Butcher is one that I've seen come up. Similar kind of you're the bad guy, kill them all kind of deal. There's Krzysztof Chomicki, who is the game and level designer, and Sebastian Kroskowicz, who is the director and programmer. And
Yes.
we fall into a little bit of the Salt and Sanctuary problem, which is how much do we the fact that there are two of us and two of them makes it
we're gonna rumble. No, it's just it doesn't feel good to badmouth something from a small team.
Right.
To me, this is like a 6 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of worth looking at. And I don't hate that I played it, but I can't recommend it to anybody, and I wouldn't play it again.
Yeah,
that's okay. Yeah. It did well. These guys, other people like this a lot more than us. Mm-hmm. It did okay money wise. Like, good for them. I don't begrudge them their success. It's just what I think of their game.
Right.
I'm not trying to beat up on a very small team.
Yeah, it's an impressive effort, but we've got to grade what's on the plate. Kind of.
Exactly. Yep. And part of the, the standard watch out for fireballs thing, part of the bitterness comes from missed potential. Like, this is something that I think we were both excited about. Oh, yeah. And should be entirely up our alleys.
Yeah. I mean, they showed it at the Devolver press conference at E3 2019, and it was like the thing that I remember from that one. Like, and I put up went to my calendar and put it on there, and just like, oh yeah, Carrion. Like, that is a game that I'm looking forward to, and that is a process. Looking forward to games that I have mostly divested myself of doing.
Yeah. The developers, as we mentioned, cite FromSoft and Dark Souls and how they did level design and shortcuts. They also cite Abe's Odyssey and Another World as influences. So it's kind of cinematic platformers. Mm-hmm. You don't really do cinematic platforming things, but that does come through in the level design. Yeah. And you do a little bit in the kind of lever-based puzzles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the flashback, and then also the the parasite ones, so the possession kind of powers you use. You control a little bit like very Abe's Odyssey. A major part of the development cycle was getting real-time feedback on things from Twitter. They would kind of do A/B testing. This makes sense again because this game really does sing in GIFs and short videos.
Yeah. Yep. There's a DLC for this called The Greatest Time of the Year. This is a little joke, some dark humor. Mm-hmm. It's a Carrion level, but there are Christmas decorations. What if the Carrion monster fucked up Christmas? Mm-hmm. Observe.
Something big and red is coming down the chimney.
Yeah, big red. I did not play this.
I played it until I realized it was basically just a Carrion level.
Yeah. Like, I'm good. This game did review pretty well. The 7 to 8 out of 10. Including one absolutely ridiculous hyperbolous review from Kotaku that's like, this is the best game of all time. Just absolutely nutsoid shit. My worst allies in the culture war strike again. But it's hard to tell how well it sold. From what I saw, it did okay. They did okay. I don't think that this was, I think this was a mid. It wasn't a huge blockbuster indie success, but it also wasn't one of those failures where you're going to get an essay about why they're leaving the industry.
Right. I think this might be one of the first games that we've done that was a launch on Game Pass. So this came out, I think, like a week or a couple days early on Game Pass. That is how the majority of people played it. When we've brought this up a couple of times, people said, "Oh yeah, this is the perfect Game Pass game. Like, I don't have to make a decision to spend $20 on it. It comes down and I can play with it, and it's up to you to decide if that is good or bad for the industry. But I think it's remarkable that we're getting around to these right now on the show.
That was a huge thing in discussion around this on the Slack.
Yes.
It was on Game Pass. I know it was fine for a few hours. And it does provide a curve, like an enjoyment and a critical curve. Yeah. The Game Pass thing, which we don't engage with, but it's really interesting. That's going to be one of the kind of unforeseen knock-on effects.
Yeah.
of that aspect of gaming changing.
Mm-hmm.
Last thing I want to mention about this too, and this is not totally fair, but how much of playing this did you spend thinking like, God, we gotta do Inside? Like Inside does a lot of this stuff, thematically and story wise and stuff.
Yeah,
but it's got puzzles.
I had Inside on the mind, and I also had Limbo on the mind too.
Yeah,
specifically because of the back half of Limbo is that weird industrial kind of like nonsense space kind of deal. It definitely brought that forward for me. Inside's a good game, and they talked about that too. Like they were developing this, and they started developing this in like late 2017, and as they were showing this off, they were saying like, oh, it's like that part in Inside. And they're like, oh, thanks for spoiling Inside for us.
Everyone else has played Inside, but we haven't played Inside yet. Which is good that they weren't trying to knock off anything. Not that I would assume they were. Conversion evolution happens, but it just kind of like, oh, we didn't even play Inside. And it's like, you didn't. But that's mean. But it's a lot of. I wish this was more like Inside. Or just like more like Hulk Ultimate Destruction. Fuck shit up and be a little bit more powerful.
It's a game that stands in a doorway. Just kind of creep in there. It's got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and
the worst thing about this game is that it's it and standing in the doorway. That's going to be it for the public part of this episode. If you want to hear the whole thing, you want to hear the rest, go to patreon.com/Duckfeed.tv. You not only get this one, you get all of them, all of the old ones, all of the new ones.
More than 50 of them at this point now. I think maybe coming up on 60. I don't know. There's plenty to go around. And that'll also include next month's premium episode about The Evil Within 2. If you have thoughts about Carrion, it is too late to write in, unfortunately. However, it is not too late to write in about October's games, which are Devotion, Strangeland, and The Evil Within 2. Go to duckfeed.tv/contact and click the Watch Out for Fireballs button there and write in. If you have thoughts about multiple games, please separate them into multiple responses. That makes my job possible. If you are a non-white, non-cis, non-dude creator and you'd like us to highlight your project, send me an email at gary@duckfeed.tv. This month, I want to draw some attention to a Kickstarter. This is for the Monster Overhaul, which is a system-neutral role-playing game bestiary designed by Dye. It's called the Monster Overhaul. It looks awesome. Taking a look at it, like it's real neat. Like it adds tables, so it's system neutral, but it has tables and little random elements that are system neutral. So for example, there's an entry here on like mercenaries, and it seems like they're doing a little bit of a Teamsters kind of joke. And so there's like a D20 for like excuses they will use when you try to hire them, stuff like that. 200 monsters, 160 pieces of original art. Looks really great. This fucking rules. Hey, guess what, Gary? You just sold one of these.
It's and Dye is a long time. Like it's one of those things where I got the email from them and then recognize the name. They've been around for a while. And it's real cool to be able to help them out.
Nice.
So
that's
the Monster Overhaul.
You sold it in the first sentence by describing it as a systems neutral bestiary, and then everything else was just icing on the cake. Neat.
Need a lot more of that kind of stuff.
The Monster Overhaul.
I'm calling out Dye. Dye reached out to me. There's a whole team on this. I'm not trying to erase anybody. Just check out that project.
Neat.
And that's going to be it. We will see you next week for the dispatch.
Yes, we will. Bye.